ॐ ॐ गणानां त्वा गणपतिगुं हवामहे कविं कवीनामुपमश्रवस्तमं ज्येष्ठराजं ब्रह्मणां ब्रह्मणस्पत आनः शृण्वन्नोतिभिः सीदसादनम् प्रणो देवी सरस्वती वाजिनीवती धीनामवित्र्यवतु गणेशाय नमः सरस्वत्यै नमः श्रीगुरुभ्यो नमः हरिः ॐ हृदाकाशे सदा भान्तं शान्तमानन्दरूपिणं ज्ञानभानुमहं वन्दे सद्गुरुं सत्यसायिनम् ॐ भद्रं कर्णेभिः शृणुयामदेवाः भद्रं पश्येमाक्षभिर्यजत्राः स्थिरैरङ्गैस्तुष्टुवागुंसस्तनूभिः व्यशेम देवहितं यदायुः स्वस्ति न इन्द्रो वृद्धश्रवाः स्वस्ति नः पूषा विश्ववेदाः स्वस्ति नस्तार्क्ष्यो अरिष्टनेमिः स्वस्ति नो बृहस्पतिर्दधातु ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः ओम श्री साई राम. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Hari Om, Shalom, Sai Ram, Namaste. Shema Israel, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad, Adonai Echad, Adonai Echad. Our Father, thou art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done on earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us for trespasses, as we forgive those who trespass against us. And lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. For thine is the kingdom, and the power, and the glory, forever and ever. Amen. Joining the billions of people celebrating the Passover and the Palm Sunday. Shalom. Hallelujah. Amen. The one who loves the one will not hate anyone. The one who loves the one celebrates the love of the one. The one who is all pervading, in fact, has no name and form. The one who is the only one is that which is ever present, all auspiciousness and bliss. If we understood this, then we will truly understand the meaning of what is Bhadrang Karnebhihi Shrunuyama. If only a few people listen and the rest of them are not, then what is the point of chanting these Veda mantras? If only a few people understand it and the rest of them have no context of what these really mean, what is the point of all these scriptures? If only a few people work in the name of the God and the other only divide to hate and to kill each other, what is the point of spirituality, scriptures, all this in the name of God blasphemy, in the name of God tyranny, in the name of God immorality, in the name of God violence, in the name of God all other nonsense? First and foremost, to instill love in God and to save those who surrender to them is the essence of the Passover. And that surrender, this yesterday, was about the entire life of Hanuman. When world is celebrating Passover, getting ready for Palm Sunday, Hindus are celebrating Hanuman Jayanti. Hanuman Jayanti is the essence of Hanuman's life, is service and surrender in supreme love for Bhagavan. The essence of Passover is surrender in supreme love for Bhagavan with complete faith that he will save the firstborn. Jesus entered Jerusalem to observe Passover. And when he noticed all the atrocities being done in the name of God in the temples, collecting money, bribery, all the full nonsense that happens in every damn temple in the world, he wanted to stop that. And therefore, on this Palm Sunday, he was taken into notice by those who love to commit sin in the name of God. Daiva bhiti papa priti. Fear God, love sin. This is the essence of religion. Fear God, love sin. Why do you go to temples and chant? Fear God. And then come out of the temple or a church, commit sin. Love sin, fear God. Bhagavan said it is the other way around. Love God, fear sin. So when Jesus spoke out to stop this immorality in the name of God, he was noticed. And this coming Thursday will be the Last Supper, following which will be the Good Friday, which I call actually God Friday. It is not Good Friday, it's God Friday. Hanuman sacrificed his body, senses, and his mind for the sake of God. Jesus did the same thing, and perhaps even more supreme, to put his body on the cross, to cut it across, and to emerge immortal. Sorry for my misspelling there. To emerge immortal, and as a Chiranjeevi, Hanuman is a Chiranjeevi for the same reason. If you understand and study every religion, the essence is the same. It is surrender in love for God and to serve the humanity. But we have become so atrociously orthodox, and therefore we only follow what our own little cocoon, like the frogs in and the fish in the well. If you truly believe that your God is complete, know that without adoring other religions, he is incomplete. Simple as that. Simply don't chant Purnamadaha Purnamidam Purnat. What does that mean? Purnamadaha Purnamidam. That is complete. This is complete. This taken out of that is complete. What remains is complete. How are you complete? If your mind doesn't understand the divinity of Jesus, how is your mind complete if your mind does not understand the divinity of Moses? So, Bhadran Karnebhihi Shrunuyama Deva, may all of us listen together to this beautiful glory and the story of God. Okay, Shama, I gave you the co-host please project. ॐ भद्रं कर्णेभिः शृणुयाम देवाः भद्रं पश्येमाक्षभिर्यजत्राः स्थिरैरङ्गैस्तुष्टुवागुंसस्तनूभिः व्यशेम देवहितं यदायुः स्वस्ति न इन्द्रो वृद्धश्रवाः स्वस्ति नः पूषा विश्ववेदाः स्वस्ति नस्तार्क्ष्यो अरिष्टनेमिः स्वस्ति नो बृहस्पतिर्दधातु आपमापमपः सर्वा आह अस्मादस्मादितो मुतः अग्निर्वायुश्च सूर्यश्च सहसञ्चस्करर्धिजा वायवश्वारश्मिपतयः मरीचात्मानो अद्रुहः देवीर्भुवनसुवरीः पुत्रवत्वाय मे सुता महानाम्निर्महामानाः महसो महसस्वः देवीः देवीः पर्जन्यसुवरीः पुत्रवत्वाय मे सुताम् अपाश्नुष्णिमपारक्षः अपाश्नुष्णिमपारक्षः अपाश्नुष्णिमपारघम् अपाघ्रामपचावर्तिम् अपदेवीरितो हित वज्रं देवीरजितागश्च भुवनं देव सुवरीः आदित्यानदितिं देवीं योनिनोर्ध्वमुदीशत शिवानश्यन्तमा भवन्तु दिव्या आप ओषधयः सुमृडीका सरस्वती माते व्योमसन्दृशी. That is the first Anuvakam of Aruna Prashna, where it is ending. The mantra ends there by saying that we will not notice any gaps in the flow of the rivers on this earth. That is the literal meaning. What it means spiritually is we will not see any gaps in the flow of I am consciousness that is all flowing and all pervading. Gaps, if you feel a gap, that if you are a Hindu, a Muslim, a Jew, whatever, there is a gap in your I am flow consciousness because you created a gap in your flow of I am. May we be blessed with this medicament of auspiciousness. O divine love, may the love allow this. Oh, that rhymes. May the love allow for the flow of I am consciousness. That is what it means. Siva anashantama bhavantu. Divya, enlightening. Apa, the love. Oshadhayaha is a medicament. What does that do? Sumridika keeps us happy. Saraswati makes it flowing. Mate, we will not see. Vyoma Sandrishi, any of the gaps in our consciousness. awareness. Now this next Anuvaka is about Surya Mandala. The first Anuvaka that we chanted about is primarily invoking these divine waters, the water cycle, and that water cycle that sustains the earth, that water cycle that comes down from the sky in the form of rain as the clouds, that water cycle which is even above and beyond that and protects even the divine beings that are up above, that are taking care of this cosmos. That is the summary and essence of first Anuvaka. I'm telling you, once you get to this level of understanding, your chanting experience will be a millionfold better. Millionfold. See now, entire first Anuvaka, how it is summarized like that. Now you go back and you don't even have to look for mantra. Mantra flows. Otherwise, you have to memorize. This is by heart. That is by head. That's why they say chant by heart it. What does by heart mean? Chant by the heart, not with the head. So when the head is operating, you have to memorize. Then it is a burden. So one sister was writing to me saying that, oh my God, this Aruna Prishna is not for me. And I said, what does it mean it is not for me? Of course it's not for you. It is for the universe. The question you have to ask is, how do I be illumined by it? And the mind will play all its tricks. Why not to learn? And it will be so ignorant that it will even say, you don't even need to know the meaning of mantra, all of that nonsense. It is nonsense actually. If you did not actually connect to the awareness of the mantra will not flow through you. Now, that doesn't mean you should feel intimidated and stop learning. Okay. So, that also you have to understand. This mind, a normal mind, there is a lower mind and there is a higher mind. A mind that is intimidated, ashamed, and then goes into a cocoon, does not want to do anything, is also the ego mind. You have to understand that. And that ego mind wants you not to do something because you are intimidated. But a higher mind takes what is spoken as a challenge, as an opportunity, and it takes that as an opportunity and elevates itself to the higher level. So may the love of Bhagavan elevate us, not depress us. And that happens, that is grace. That is grace. Because chanting these mantras and understanding their meaning and all of that stuff is not an ordinary pursuit. So for the mind to be illumined by his grace, that's why he is Bhagavan, with his light and wisdom. Now we get into this second Anuvakam, which starts talking about Surya Mandalam. Mandalam means a configuration that you perceive as a configuration. How to understand this Surya Mandalam? What are the tools that are applied to understand this Surya Mandalam? That's what we are going to get into the next set. So we will take the next four lines and then first learn. Somebody mentioned to me that in the Veda, in the Mahanyasam classes, I used to say the words first so that people got the words and then they learned the mantra. That will be helpful because sometimes these, it's not easy to pronounce some of these. So please repeat after me. Smritif pratyakshamaityhyam. Shama. Smritif pratyakshamaityhyam.
Smritif pratyakshamaityhyam.
Anumanashchatuštayam.
Anumanashchatuštayam. Anumanashchatuštayam.
Etairadityamandalam.
Etairadityamandalam. Etairadityamandalam.
Sarvaireva vidhasyate.
सर्वैरेव विधास्यते.
Yes. Om Smriti Pratyakshamai. Om Smriti Pratyakshamaityam.
ॐ स्मृतिः क्षमैतिह्यम् स्मृतिः क्षमैतिह्यम्
Om Smriti Pratyakshamaityam.
ॐ स्मृतिः प्रत्यक्षमैतिह्यम्.
Very good. Now, you see, the reason why I messed up in the first place was that I shortened the duration as the long vowel. Therefore, the flow was interrupted. So, that is I, should be a long vowel. So, it is my tihyam. So, that's where please chant one more time. Om.
ॐ स्मृतिः प्रत्यक्षमैतिह्यम्.
Anumanashchaturshtayam.
अनुमानश्चतुष्टयम्. अनुमानश्चतुष्टयम्.
Etairadityamandalaम्.
एतैरादित्यमण्डलम्. एतैरादित्यमण्डलम्.
सर्वैरेव विधास्यते.
सर्वैरेव विधास्यते. सर्वैरेव विधास्यते.
ॐ स्मृतिः प्रत्यक्षमैतिह्यम् अनुमानश्चतुष्टयम् एतैरादित्यमण्डलम् सर्वैरेव विधास्यते.
ॐ स्मृतिः प्रत्यक्षमैतिह्यम्. अनुमानश्चतुष्टयम्. एतैरादित्यमण्डलम्. सर्वैरेव विधास्यते. स्मृतिः प्रत्यक्षमैतिह्यम्. अनुमानश्चतुष्टयम्. एतैरादित्यमण्डलम्. सर्वैरेव विधास्यते.
So, very simply put, what is the meaning of these four lines? What it says is the totality and the true nature of Surya Mandalam, the solar orb, can be understood and determined by four methods: Smriti, Pratyaksha, Aitihya, Anumana. That is what it means. I'll repeat again. The totality and the true nature of the Surya Mandalam, solar orb, can be understood and determined by four methods: Smriti, Pratyaksha, Aitihya, Anumana. So show the words now. Smritihi, Pratyaksham, Aitihyam, Anumanaha, Chatushtayam. Now he's showing you how to go to these files. Go to sayatrudram.org, go to learn materials, class materials. Then you will see all the files, including audio files, everything, Padapatha, audio files, Samhita Patha, all are present there. Incredible amount of work and sacrifice and time is spent by few people in putting these files together. So now Smritihi Pratyaksham Aitihyam Anumanaha Chatushtayam Etaihi Adityamandalam Sarvaihi Eva Vidhasyate. So now you can also figure out how the Anumanash how the Cha came, because Anumanaha Chatushtayam becomes Anumanash. So the Cha became a Sandhi there. So even people that are expert chanters now begin to pay attention to individual words and where Sandhis are happening, so that you become automatically the next mantras you learn, the next mantras you learn. That's these people that I said that are doing a service, in fact, also doing for a selfish reason, because by putting these files together, they understand the principles of chanting much better. Where sandhis are have, they will ask, hey, how come this avagraha, not anugraha, avagraha is not coming here? You see the questions that I was posting to there is also a Q&A document that is created, capturing the Q&As happening in the class, and some questions that are not asked in the class but are asked offline with emails and WhatsApp, I am posting there. Can we interpret this mantra like this, etc.? See, now truly becomes a study. Otherwise, we are, parrots. So, smritihi, pratyaksham, aitihyam, anumanaha, chatushtayam. There are four methods, four tools. Chatushtayam, four methods or tools that are used to understand the solar arm. Now you can take out or you can keep it there. Let people look at it. First one is smritihi. Smriti very simply means, smriti means memory, experience. In scientific terms, it's called a reference. When you write a scientific paper, if it was already observed by somebody else and documented as an experience, experimental experience, what you do at the end of your paper, you put reference, and you put those references in parenthesis when you wherever you quote them. So what is that? Smriti. Ah, now this is the way the mantras have figured out how to actually create total knowledge. Next one is pratyaksham. Pratyaksham means observation, that you have observed with your senses, which is a fact, which is experimental evidence. Direct evidence that is done through an experiment is called pratyaksham. And that pratyaksham, when we were students, we used to call what's called observation book. We used to write down what we observed. Chemistry experiments, especially brown ring test. Do not think that science is useless. Now, but what we are talking about is the third one is aithyam. Aithyam in science, it is called epidemiology. Epidemiology. And aithyam is iti ha. Those are the two words. Iti ha means this is how it was. That is what it means. Iti ha means it used to be like that some time ago. What is that? Some kind of folklore, etc. And how this folklore is like almost like an epidemiology. It's like something that folklore created, and therefore that also is taken into consideration. And in science we call is epidemiological evidence. It could be true, could not be true, but that is how statistics points it out. So statistics is a tool to actually confirm or to validate some evidence or not. Then you have to do some kind of p-square test, that square test, that square, and then you say probability of success is p less than 0.05. That means there is still a 5% error that is possible. That is called aithyam. And, I used to tell when I was, leader of science in the company, if you have to use statistics, then you really don't have any evidence. Statistics is a subject I hated. Sorry, personal note there. Because the guy who taught it made it so complex that we had to really, I hated using statistics. No, direct evidence, it has to be so clear that you don't have to use statistics. So, what is epidemiology also is folklore stories, right? Sometimes your dobi will say, rain is going to come tomorrow. Arey, how do you know, dobi? Because my donkey looked at the sky and it has done something weird. Therefore, so he observed the donkey's patterns for so long that he can predict rain, which the guy on the television cannot predict. You understand? So that is what's called folklore. How do you know? I don't know, sir. I have some kind of, you know, ma- this is also dangerous, because you start using something without even validating. It's called WhatsApp University. The fellow doesn't even read the message, but he will forward it to you. Hey, then you send the guy, hey, I checked that this is not actually a fact. This seems to be fake news. Array, I just sent it so that you can enjoy. Because the more you send WhatsApp messages, you look more active in life. So therefore, for old people, this has become a very good tool to say, I am active. Hello, I am here. I'm alive. Epidemiology. Anumana. Anumana doesn't see Anumana, the word Anumana in colloquial sense, awareness, we use Anumana meaning doubtful. Anumana is not doubt. This is avamana to the word Anumana. It's it's an insult to the word Anumana. Anumana means inferential by logic. So you have a inferential evidence by cause and effect. For example, you see a smoke on the top of a hill, and then you say there is fire on the hill, because you know that smoke is one of the ways smoke appears is by fire. Therefore, you infer by logic that smoke is caused by fire. That is called anumana. See how beautiful. What are they saying now? Etai sarvaihe. All these tools and measurements, eva aditya mandalam, this solar orb, vidhasyate, is determined. Can you can you comprehend how complete this is called epistemology. Epistemology is the way, a totality of creating knowledge, not just by only observation, not just by experience, not just by folklore, not just by logic. You have to use the totality of evidence that is obtained by all these methods. And they are saying, we determined this solar orb based on the totality and the true nature, based on memory, experience, reference, facts, and experimental observations, by epidemiology or statistical metrics, and by inference and logic. So, this is a complete integrated epistemology. Epistemology. Now, you see, ignorant people that have a hidden agenda have propagated this. Uh, I should not say those words. Ignorant people have created this unconsciousness, saying that Veda mantras and Vedic knowledge are all blind beliefs. They're not blind beliefs. That is totally wrong. It is totally scientific. And it is even more powerful than the current educational methods. In fact, the current educational system is blind. It does not allow the student to use the completeness of the brain. It is destructive, and it has destroyed the fundamental nature of a child's brain, how to use all the different ways to understand something. Vedic knowledge is absolutely powerful, absolutely science, absolutely science. And that doesn't mean that science is stupid. Hello, I also want to be very clear about this. I love science. I am a scientist. My grounding is in science. And therefore, what happens? When that scientific background is so strong, you will look at everything scientifically. And how, if you look at this Anuvakam structures, it's amazing how they are structured. They first identify what is the subject matter. Like in the first Anuvakam, the subject matter was water cycle. In this Anuvakam, it is the solar orb. So either they take a Anuvaka or a group of Anuvaka that is related to a total subject matter. Then they get into the logic, including you have to get into the logic. That's what we are doing in Veda study. You go look at every one of the videos. This is the methodology that is used. This kind of teaching of Veda mantras does not exist, where you also not just take a literal meaning of the mantra, you have to also integrate what is the spiritual inner meaning that you can practice in life, not just conceptual. If it is only concept, it will not stay. The reason why the Veda Dharma has fallen to its so much down is because we only connected to Vedas in concepts. We never connected them to how it practically applies, including modern science. You cannot say modern science is a modern science. You know, there are religious nuts that actually undermine science. They say, oh, Vedas said this already long time ago. Now only scientists are discovering. No, no, that's all nonsense. You have to honor and you have to respect the methods, the experimental methods used by a Newton or an Einstein or today's quantum physics, whoever scientists are. They're not ordinary people. They're extraordinary. They are amazing tools using same tools they are using. They are using Smriti, Pratyaksha, Aitihya, Anumana. Modern science also uses these kind of tools. Where this modern science come from? From Vedic science only. So therefore, get grounded in the logic and get grounded, even integrating with modern science. And when you integrate with modern science, then our grounding in the Veda mantra will actually be much more profound. If you say that modern science is whatever stupid, etc., and there are these anti-vaccine guys and all this kind of, that's not spirituality at all. That's called blind belief. So, brothers and sisters, how incredible this integrated epistemology, as I call it, integrated epistemology of these Veda mantras, and whatever I am speaking will be proven through every mantra. As you go through this Aruna Prashna, that's why Aruna Prashna is such an amazing study. I was encouraging some of these people, how systematic knowledge has to be created. You will understand this. You will not simply take some WhatsApp message, folklore, and then believe in it and then spread the same thing. So the vision of the rishis about the solar orb, Etair Mandalam Sarvaihi Eva Vidhasyate. Now, if you actually see Swami's grace, yesterday only I was thinking about why did Arunam come at the end after Rudram and Devi Mahatyam? Rudram is completely Samhita Patha. It's complete mantra. Devi Mahatyam is Tantra. Same thing elaborated through Puranic, Itihasa. It is how it was. Itihasa. Puranam is Itihasam. Ramayanam, Mahabharatam, Devi Bhagavatam, all these are called Itihasa. It is how it was. But it is not actually how it was. If you actually understand it, Ramayana is happening every day through you. Devi Mahatyam is happening every day through you. So it is an everyday experience. It is not how it was. What all you have done is you did not turn your mind towards it. So if Rudra is mantra, Devi Mahatyam is tantra, And this Aruna Prashna is yantra. That is how there are specific dimensions of a Homakunda is created, water pots with specific dimensions are organized. It is all a yantra. Aruna Ketuka Chainam is a yantra. Nachiketa Chainam is a yantra. Agnistomam, all these are Homakundas are yantras. There are specific measurements, angles, how certain things have to be used in a certain manner, the ritual aspect of it. Okay, the next mantra straight away gets into the study of one of the beautiful aspects of the sun, which is a time. Sun and time, how they are related. Okay, next, let's show the chanting of the Samhita. Suryo, Suryo Marichi Madatte,
Suryo Marichimadatte.
Sarvasmad Bhuvanadadhi,
Sarvasmad Bhuvanadadhi.
Tasyaf Paka Visheshena,
Tasyav Paka Visheshena.
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 Now you see, Shakara, Shakara. Shakara is the palatal, Shakara is the cerebral, Nakara is the cerebral. Tasyaf Paka Visheshena.
Tasyav Paka Visheshena.
Very good. Now, for those of you who are reading from Telugu, for heaven's sake, don't say Tasyah Paka Visheshena. If you say Tasyah Paka Visheshena, you have broken the mantra and you lost the continuity of the mantra. So the Visarga should not be pronounced. If it is followed by a Pa, the Pa will get the sound of, it is not Dhiyo Yo Nah Prachodayat. See how difficult it is to say Dhiyo Yo Nah Prachodayat. You lose the breath. You lose the breath when you say that. But however, when you use that Pakara sound is Dhiyo Yo Nah Prachodayat, your breath is protected. You won't lose the breath. So it's a technique of chanting that is so integrated with even your pattern of breathing. That is how beautiful these mantras are. Tasyaf Paka Visheshena Smritam Kala Visheshanam.
Smritam Kala Visheshanam.
Here also, please, heaven's sake, don't say Smritam Kala Visheshanam. If you say that, you lost the continuity. Smritam Kala Visheshanam. Smritam Kala Vish. Now, the moment you actually start doing this, the other day I was observing myself, even bhajan singing, these principles get applied. Even in bhajan singing. See, there is this Rama bhajan, somebody was singing. Uh, They say Patita Pavana, Ram. Patita Pavana. Patita Pavana is totally absurd. It doesn't mean anything. It is Patita Pavana. Patita Pavana. Patita means downtrodden, fallen. So the one who uplifts the downtrodden and the fallen, that is the meaning of Patita Pavana. But what we have, because these musical people, they don't know the meaning of what they are singing, they start using for music's sake and for talam's sake, they increase something, they decrease something. Then they sing, they say, Patita Pavana instead of Patita Pavana. Patita Pavana is incorrect. And now because why I said that, there is a bhajan called Patita Pavanaram, Papa Vinojanaram. Patita Pavanaram is a, and you cannot even say Patita Pavana there because for the way the bhajan was composed has made it impossible to say Patita Pavana. Anyway, why did I come there? Smrtang Kala Visheshanam, not Smrtam Kala Visheshanam. Okay, these 4 lines we will learn very quickly. Okay. Suryo Marichima
Suryo Marichima Datte. Suryo Marichima Datte.
Sarvasma Adbhuvanadadhi
Sarvasmaad Bhuvanadadhi. Sarvasmaad Bhuvanadadhi.
Tasyav Pakavisheshena
Tasyav Pakavisheshena. Tasyav Pakavisheshena.
Smrutang Kala Visheshanam
Smritam Kala Visheshanam. Smritam Kala Visheshanam.
Very good. Suryo Marichimadatte Sarvasma Adbhuvanadadhi Tasyav Pakavisheshena Smrutang Kala Visheshanam.
Suryo Marichimadatte. Sarvasmaad Bhuvanadadhi. Tasyav Pakavisheshena. Smritam Kala Visheshanam.
I hope all of you are chanting along with Sham, not just listening to him. Your opportunity is to repeat after me. That way, the mantra will stay with you. And I already uploaded this Anuvaka 2 in the audio file. So you can listen and come for practice on Tuesday. Okay, let's now go into the words within Suryaha Marichim Adatte Sarvasmat Bhuvanat Adhi. If you did not know there was a sandhi between Bhuvanat and Adhi, you think that this Bhuvana Dadhi, Dadhi means curd. You think the whole world is a curd. Okay. I have to I have to prevent any interpretations that are related to food because the first thing the mind wants is food. So if you love curd and say, oh look, they mentioned that the whole world is curd in this mantra. Uh, there was a pandit, he in my village, he used to do this nasyam. I don't know what is nasyam, tobacco powder. They used to, you know, this tobacco thing, they've invented all kinds of uses for it. One for taking through nose, another for chewing in the mouth. Third one was smoking with also with the lungs to destroy the individual, complete intoxication. And this Purohita, this Veda Pandit used to do this. I asked him, "Hey, sir, why you do this? It's not, you're a Vedic scholar, it's not good for your lungs." No, sir. In Purusha Suktam, they said, Etava Nasya Mahima. Huh? Etava Nasya Mahima. This is all the Mahima of Nasya only. Well, Purusha Suktam itself, then I laughed and I said, I didn't know whether he was joking or what he was doing, but I'm sure he was joking. It is etavan asya mahima. Then when you do the sandhi, it becomes etavan asya mahima. Now, because you know that there are two words, you should not be splitting while you're chanting. You have to chant etavan asya mahima. Now, what you cannot hear also, because you know it is bhuvanat adhi. Like I was saying in the Kshama Prarthana, they understand that Aparadha Sahasrani, Ahante, there they split. Aparadha Sahasrani, there they split there. I said, no, you cannot split like that. Suryo Marichima Datte, Sarvasmat Bhuvanadadhi. Suryaha Marichim Adatte, Sarvasmat Bhuvanat Adhi. This Surya is Adhi. Adhi means above all. Above all what? Sarvasmat Bhuvanat. The entire universe. The Surya is above and all the entire universe. And yet, he holds this entire universe. Huh? He holds this entire universe. Adatte Marichim. Using his race, he holds the whole universe. Wow, powerful. Now, if you are interpreting that literally, what does it mean, sir? Surya is holding the whole universe with his rays. Marichi, the word Marichi. Marichim is plural. Marichim is rays. Marichim means rays. The sun's rays are called Marichi. Now, in fact, this word Marichi is what our brother, my buddy Sham, sent a beautiful article about this word Marichi because he was intrigued by that. The goddess of light in Buddhism, her name is Marichi. Huh? The goddess of light in Buddhism is Marichi. And in fact, that is the root of the word Michi. Michi. Michi means the path of light is Michi, that which illumines that. Marichi. Marichi is also one of the 7 rishis, Sapta rishis, who is a Brahma Manasa Putra. Where does the word Marichi come? Again in Purusha Suktam. Huh? Marichi, I don't know. I'm asking Purusha Suktam, Sudhakar. Purusha Suktam, Marichi.
Marichinam padami.
Marichinam padamichanti vedasaha. What does that mean? Marichinam padamichanti vedasaha. What does it mean? So, very good. You know the reference. The next question is, what does it mean? That is truly makes you a scientist of Veda. You are not Vedic science is this. Once you ask a question, questions will not stop. So Marichinam padam icchanti vedasaha has two meanings to it. The rishis like Marichi has taken up the path, which is the path that even Brahma wants to embark on. That is literal meaning how it is written in books. But when I explained Purusha Suktam, I explained it very differently. Marichinam padamichanti vedasaha means this path of illumination, Brahmajnana, is something even Brahma wants to embark on. All these gods and goddesses that you worship, Indra, Agni, Vayu, all those guys, they are only portfolio managers. They are not illumined beings. Even they want to get Brahmajnana. The self-knowledge Brahmajnana is something which is supreme. So, Marichi Madatte is, we'll get into this. Next one is Tasyah Paka Visheshena Smrutankala Visheshanam. What does that mean? Tasyah Paka Visheshena Smrutang Kala Visheshanam. Kala Visheshanam. Kala here means time. The specifics of time. Smritam is understood or remembered or reflected by Paka Visheshena Tasyah. By the specific changes in those sun rays, time has emerged. My God. Killer here. We called in cricket, we called it googly. What is this? This Aruna Prashna is talking about Suryo Marichimadatte Sarvasmat Bhuvanadadhi. This Surya is above and beyond the entire universe and holds the entire universe with the rays. And because of the specific changes in those rays, please understand that the time has come into existence. ఏం సుధాకర్ అరుణం నేర్చుకున్నారు కదా అరుణం ఇలా అరుణం ఇలా నేర్చుకున్నారా
అందుకనే మిమ్మల్ని అడిగాను సార్ చాలా సార్లు
అరుణం ఇలా నేర్చుకుంటే ఇప్పుడు అసలు సైన్స్ అంటే ఏంటో తెలుసు నౌ యూ విల్ అండర్స్టాండ్ వాట్ an amazing statement that is above mantra. This above mantra is stating that time course is understood and underpinned by specific changes in sun rays. If you have read this statement and you have no connection at all with modern science, then this is where we integrate modern science with Vedic science so that our experience is complete and our experience is integrated. And we don't say, look, time was already mentioned back in Aruna Prishna. Our Vedic rishis are greater than modern scientists. Nonsense. That is humbug. Don't even talk like that. If you are a truly Swami's devotee, you will not dishonor, disintegrate, denigrate anyone, first and foremost. That is how we started this class. You will not say Christianity is not real. You will not say Islam is nonsense, all of that stuff. I'm not necessarily saying that the mullahs are right or the priests are correct. The nonsense of the Jewish priests is what has led to Jesus to point out that immorality in the priests. And that is how he emerged as the one who fought for dharma. And in fighting for dharma, he did not even fear to lose his life. That is the message of, just like what Krishna had told Arjuna, fight for dharma. In this case, Bhagavan instructed Jesus, fight for dharma. And then Jesus said, thy will be done. What is the difference between Arjuna and Jesus? Nothing. Nothing. In fact, Jesus, if you from a colloquial context look at it, is even more powerful than Arjuna, because in fighting that war against adharma, Jesus sacrificed his life and put himself in the cross and subjected himself. Now, all of this mind gets filled with the consciousness or awareness of what is prevailing in the atmosphere. So this whole week is celebrated in contemplation of the greatness of Jesus until the Easter Sunday. By the way, on 19th, which is Friday evening here, brothers and sisters in South Africa are doing Rudra Parayanam. And I posted that anybody can sign up for that on a Good Friday evening. And things don't happen. If you want to listen more about significance of Easter, join that satsang. Anyway, so the context of what we're talking about is now we integrate. Integrate. What are we integrating? See, the objective of Aruna Prashna, the intent of the Rishi, is nothing about objective science. Rishis did not focus on objective science. Rishis focused on the subject matter. Scientist focuses on objective methodology. So the subject and object, if you understand the object very well, you will understand the subject. If you understood the subject, you have understood all the objective knowledge. Are you with me on this? Are we all meeting at the same point? Hello, I'm not giving a discourse here. Bhadram karne bhi. We all have to listen together. Bhadram pashye. We all have to see together. Now you understand why that mantra is started with that Shanti mantra now in Aruna Prishna. Bhadram karne, we all have to listen together. That means if few people are not even connecting to what is being said, Hare Yendra Babu, what is all this? He is giving all this stuff which is irrelevant. I just want to, chant Aruna Prishna and get out of here. Who cares what is the meaning of all of this stuff? You're lost because you're not listening, learning anything. So if you understood what I said, modern science is study of the subject, of the object. The Rishi's objective was to study the subject matter. If you study the object, how many objects you have to study the subject? But if you study the subject, you will understood all the objects. So their point of view is from inside to outside. The modern science point of view is outside to inside. They complement each other. They don't contradict each other. So the main objective of Aruna Prashna is nothing to do with modern objective science. It is all about explaining this ritual called Aruna Ketuka Chayana. In the process of describing that Aruna Ketuka Chayana, they have made incredible observations using memory, using experience, using direct evidence, using folklore evidence, using inferential evidence. So the symmetry and the concordance of the relative and the absolute is so much required to have complete integrated wisdom, and that's why I called Vedic science as integrated epistemology. So please, any of you on this Veda study group should not engage in criticizing modern science, saying that modern science is lower or inferior to Vedic wisdom, nor should we indulge in demeaning or denigrating scientists. Science is no different from spirituality. They are one and the same. One is coming from outside to inside, other is going from inside to outside. They are beautifully complementary to each other. When we integrate these two, we are wise. Otherwise, we are otherwise. If you even understood the word otherwise, only wise people integrate everything. If they do not, they are otherwise. So let us not be otherwise. Okay, so back to time. How is this time is an incredible topic. Maybe what I should do is finish the two lines and then what is the time now? Oh, it's 8 o'clock already. 3 minutes over. For those of you who don't have time can leave, and those who have time can stay back, and I will spend a few minutes on what time is, because it is the only thing that is driving all of us, no? Literally crazy. I have lot of time. I have no time. Huh? What is all this nonsense we talk about? As if time is something that you carry in your pocket. I don't have time means what? Nonsense. It's a nonsense statement. It is literally nonsensical statement. I do not have time. How is it nonsensical? If I ask you, do you have $1? You say, yes, I have or I don't have. But if I ask you, do you have time? Even that question is also nonsense. Do you have time? Then they say, no, I don't have time. Yes, I have all the time. Okay, so now to explain this phenomenon of this beautiful thing called time, the rishis use an inferential evidence of comparing that to a flow of a river. Those are the next two lines. Actually, what we do is we'll study the next four lines going into Anuvak, going into the next mantra also. Okay. Nadiva prabhavat kachit. Please repeat. Nadiva prabhavat kachit.
Nadiva prabhavat kachita
Akshayatsandate yatha.
akshayat syandate yatha.
Very good. So there is a sandhi between that sya, tsya, tsya is one syllable. Sya. Akshayat syandate yatha.
Akshayat syandate yatha.
Next. Tannadyo bhisamayanti.
Tanadyo-bhisamayanti.
Sorussati na nivartate.
Sorussati na nivartate.
Na nivartate.
Na nivartate.
Yes. Sorussati na nivartate.
Sorussati na nivartate.
Good. Okay, let's learn those. Nadeva prabhavat kachit.
Nadiva prabhavat kachit. Nadiva prabhavat kachit.
Akshaya atsyandate yatha.
Akshaya atsyandate yatha. Akshaya atsyandate yatha.
Tannadyo-bhisamayanti.
Tanadyo-bhisa Tanadyo-bhisamayanti.
Very good. So that na should be more held because it is a dvitvam, nakara under nakara. So tannadyo-bhisamayanti.
Tanadyo-bhisamayanti.
Sorussati na nivartate. Sorussati na nivartate.
Sorussati na nivartate. Sorussati na nivartate.
Very good. Nadeva prabhavat kachit. Akshaya atsyandate yatha. Tannadyo-bhisamayanti. Sorussati na nivartate.
Nadiva prabhavat kachit. Akshaya atsyandate yatha. Tannadyo-bhisamayanti. Sorussati na nivartate.
Good. So now let's look at the words in this. Nadi iva prabhavat ka chit akshayat syandate yatha. So when the t combines with the sya, then it becomes sya, sya, takara, sakara, yakara together. Sya. Akshayat syandate yatha. Just like, for example, a river is born and flows without drying up. That is the logic that they are using to describe this time. Wow. Only how time is being described here. It is giving, for example, just like, for example, yatha iva means just like kachit. For example, nadi, a river. Prabhavat is born. Syandate and flows. Akshayat without drying up. I'm not making up anything here. Okay. Literally word to word, I'm giving the meaning. Word to word. So I'll go through it again. Just like yatha iva kachit. For example, nadi, a river, prabhavat is born, syandate flows, akshayat without drying up. Oh, there they stopped that mantra. Why they stopped that mantra? Because that's where the Panchati is completed. 10 lines and 50 words are completed. Therefore, they paused there. And then they go to the next mantra, which is a continuation of the same theme. Tan nadyaha abhisamayanti. Because there is a nadyaha with a visarga. Abhi is starting with a vowel. Then the sandhi of that will also come with a avagraha, the two-like sign that you see in Telugu Devanagari and an apostrophe in English. Tan, tam, nadyaha, abhisamayanti, sa, uruhu, sati, na nivartate. Tam means that original river, abhisamayanti, merges itself with nadyaha, other smaller rivers. Sa, now because nadi is a feminine gender, it is referred to as she. Uruhu sati becomes magnificent. Na nivartate, it does not dry up or reverse its course. Now see those 4 lines. They are taking the example of a river to describe time. Yatha iva, just like a river, for example, is born and flows without drying up. Why does it flow constantly, does not dry up? Because that original river merges itself with other smaller rivers, and by doing that, it becomes bigger and bigger and magnificent. Na nivartate. It will not dry up or even reverse its course. Wow. This is it. If you understood this principle of Nadi, what it is doing, you will collectively join all the prayers. You will stop being existing as an individual. You will put every effort to do collective prayer. Why? Because if you are an individual, you will dry up. If a raindrop, if a raindrop is falling in a desert, it will dry up within no time. Even without hitting the ground, it will dry up. But that raindrop, when it joins a river, and that river becomes bigger river, that river becomes bigger river, and then what will it do? You are now part of this flow, and this incredible flow, and that flow will never dry up, nor it will go back. Means what? You will never go back to your identity yourself. All these bloody groups that you create in the name of God is nonsense. And they talk about all unity and all of that stuff. What unity you are talking when you split? You have to now. Please don't take that as any criticism or anything. That is what the mantra is saying. That's not what I am saying. Just like now they're comparing it to time. And why they're comparing it to time? Time is always flowing. Time is always flowing. Time is magnificent. Time does not stop, nor will it reverse its course. Are, are. How that happens, they're going to describe further. So, Nadiva Prabhavat Kachit Akshayat Syandate Yatha Tannadyo Abhisamayanti Sorussati Nanivartate. That is where we pause, and then we'll come back next week on the auspicious Saturday after the Good Friday. Let us chant this full mantra. And then I said I will say a few words about time for those who have time. And if you don't have time, you can sign off. Okay, let's go through this 4 mantras. Om Smrute Pratyak क्षमैतिह्यम् अनुमानश्चतुष्टयम् एतैरादित्यमण्डलम् सर्वैरेव विधास्यते सूर्यो मरीचिमादत्ते सर्वस्माद्भुवनादधि तस्याः पाकविशेषेण स्मृतं कालविशेषणम् नदीव प्रभवात् काचित् अक्षय्या आत्स्यन्दते यथा तान्नद्योऽभिसमायन्ति सोरुसती न निवर्तते. Okay. Yadaksharapadabhrashtam. And then we'll take any questions or okay, because you missed a few classes, Pavani, chant Yadaksharapadabhrashtam for forgiveness.
ॐ यदक्षरपदभ्रष्टं मात्राहीनं तु यत् भवेत् तत्सर्वं क्षम्यतां देव नारायण नमोऽस्तु ते विसर्गबिन्दुमात्राणि पदपादाक्षराणि च
न्यूनानि चातिरिक्तानि
न्यूनानि चातिरिक्तानि क्षमस्व सायीश्वर अपराधसहस्राणि क्रियन्ते हर्निशं मया दासोऽयमिति मां मत्वा क्षमस्व सायीश्वर अन्यथा शरणं नास्ति त्वमेव शरणं मम तस्मात् कारुण्यभावेन रक्ष रक्ष सायीश्वर हरिः ॐ तत्सत् श्री सायीश्वरार्पणमस्तु.
Okay, please
हरिः
pause.
ॐ.
Yeah, please pause there. We'll do Swasti Prajabhya after the class is over with comments. Okay. Hitesh, Benita, so nice to see you guys. Sai Ram. Sai Ram. Okay.
Salam, Kashaka. Thank you. Nice to see you too.
Nice to see you guys. Okay, very good. All right. So let's see if there are any questions. Let's see if there are any questions.
சாய்ராம்
Shekhar garu.
சாய்ராம்
Yes, sir.
சாய்ராம்
Yes.
தமிழ் வருஷ பருப்பு எல்லாருக்கும் ஆசீர்வாதம் பெரியவாளுக்கு
Ah,
நமஸ்காரம்
very good, auntie. Thank you. புத்தாண்டு நல்வாழ்த்துகள்.
நமஸ்கார்
புத்தாண்டு நல்வாழ்த்துகள். And how it is related to time. That is right. So new year for the solar new year is tomorrow.
ஆமா
So wishing everybody a very holy, auspicious solar new year. Kala Samvatsaragga Shrita is the next mantra. So Samvatsaragga Shrita. Samvatsaram is what we are going to study from time as an year is what we are going to study from next class. So I haven't gotten into that mantra because it's getting already over time. So let's see here.
Shekhar garu.
Yes, sir.
So I just wanted a question on the third line. Etai Raditya Mandalam ani Indrasandi. It is
Correct. Etaihe. That is why when you look at the words, etaihe is visarga. Aditya Mandalam, the sandhi becomes etairaditya Mandalam. Okay, that's why please pay attention to the words also. Then you will automatically understand. Akkada raditya gadadi. ఓకే రాముని తోక పెవరుండిట్లని అట్లా కాదు ఓకే ఎస్ ఓకే రైట్ ఓకే ఎస్ బ్రదర్ మనస్ దే
Salam, sir.
సాయిరామ్
Yeah. Sir, I have a question related to your say when you are saying in English script, you are showing the intonation part, right? Intonation marking you are putting below the letters. Now, it is the intonation mark is written just under the vowel part.
ప్రసాద్ మ్యూట్ సాయిరామ్ yes I understand your question. You are asking the question.
It is part only the vowel part.
Okay.
So how while pronouncing it, what is the technique to so that the consonant part I can read from the other swaras and the vowel part only the stress to be given for the intonation. That is my question, sir.
Yeah, I understand your question. So I think what brother is asking is in English, the intonation.
Yes.
I understand your question. Let me answer it, sir. So why is the intonation is put under the vowels and but not after the consonants? So that is why I think why I explained this already before. When you write in Devanagari or Telugu or Indian scripts, the syllable is written as total, not as individual. So therefore the syllable is what you pronounce. In English, what you have to read is, for example, pra is pra. So the syllable is pra. You have to read as syllables. Okay, not as individual letters. Not as individual letters. I hope that answers that. Okay, let's see. In Devanagari, it says, what is the question? Is that Sangha? Guru is, no, Guru.
No, it got answered. It got answered actually. It looks like if you enlarge it, you can see it is sarva. Yeah, it is sar. Ra is there.
Yeah, okay, thank you. Isn't it also Anumana questioning? Anumana is not questioning. Anumana is not questioning. Anumana means inferential, inference. Inference is not a question. Inference is that which you conclude based on some logic. Like I gave the logic of smoke and fire, right? It may or may not be correct. Okay, but inference is I see smoke can be generated by fire, therefore there is no question there. Anumana, in colloquial understanding, in today's understanding, the word anumana has become doubt. So how it became doubt? Because when you look at smoke and you tell the person in English, I doubt if there is fire on the hill. Okay. That is how it became colloquial understanding as doubt. So Anumana is not questioning. Anumana is inferring. And that inference may be right, may not be right there, because smoke, if, for example, if there is fog on the hill, it looks like smoke. So therefore, you are not sure. Anumana is inference, but inference is not complete. You are not completely sure about it.
But the other way to look at the inference is like questioning, because in the smoke and fire example, can there be smoke without fire? That question will give an answer saying that, you cannot get a smoke without fire. So you're inferring in a way, because this questioning also is one of the methods of learning that, they say that in Sanatana Dharma, right? The way of
questioning is the only way to learn, not one of the ways. Okay. Questioning is the not one of the ways. The only way you learn is question, and question there doesn't mean actually question. Question is query, inquiry.
Yes.
So inquiry. So you may say from that point of inquiry, hey, there is smoke on the hill, go check if there is fire. That's an inquiry. Okay, so from that point of view, I agree with you. But Anumana is actually English transliteration of that is Anumana is
inference.
is inference. Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
Thank you. Thank you.
Sairam, those who got a chance to visit Vedic clock in Ujjain can connect with Anna's explanation of sun rays relation to Jantar Mantra. Era Babu.
అవునా అన్న
Jantar.
ఇట్స్ జస్ట్ ఏ కామెంట్ అన్న
చెప్పు జంతర్ మంతర్ కి సన్ రేస్ కి కనెక్షన్ ఏంటి చెప్పు.
అక్కడ టైమ్ because of the way the sun rays falls, I mean, as you explained how you determine the time on the clock, right? So they have designed this clock way before based upon the Vedic scriptures knowledge, and how the sun rays falls. Based on that, they have calculated the time, even the seasons, and how the
Very
day will be short and how the day will be long. So there's so much to learn during the Vedic clock tour at Ujjain. Yeah.
Excellent, very good. Yes, that topic will come up next mantras. In the next few set of mantras in Aruna Prashna will be a detailed description of time, and of course um, Ujjain is the place where there is no time. Mahakal. Mahakal is the place where it is timelessness. But then from timelessness had arisen time. Okay. Are the rays of Surya the actual pure existence that is fueling this existence? In other words, is Surya's rays consciousness? The answer is everything is consciousness. Not just Surya's rays. Everything is consciousness. So without consciousness, or you can also call it as awareness, without that nothing comes into existence. Right? So that is that in yes. Now, but the Surya's rays. See, the beauty of Vedic Vedic studies is that they simply don't make a statement and let you guess. They actually take you through the experience of that statement. So when people, yeah, it is true, everything is consciousness. Then what is all this thing that I am seeing around? How is that related to consciousness? How are the sun rays consciousness? That is what the mind has to follow. Then you will really understand and become aware of that consciousness. Otherwise, it's a conceptual statement. Everything is consciousness only.
So in that context, Anna, they say that time is created because of the change in the rays. So if you consider awareness, then a modulation in the awareness leads to time and space within which we come into duality.
You are making statements which are not necessarily incorrect, because we are all the blind feeling the elephant. Right now you are describing the what we call as a siphon and a rope and all of that stuff, how they are all integrated. That's where Aruna Prashna is a very powerful science. It's a completely full of modern science. The moment that awareness dawns in, I'm telling you, Aruna Prashna chanting is not only, and how that is related, why Aruna Prashna is related to sun and all those things, they will be answered. We will get into deeper into that. I don't want to jump in giving you the mantras that actually describe that. Okay. So what is the small branch rivers merging in the main river compared to the time with reference to ever flowing river time? Yes, that is exactly what we will get into. The next mantras will actually describe how that metaphor they are using, an example they are using, upamana. How that upamana means upamana. See, anumana, upamana, and then finally, if you don't understand any of these things, it is avamana. Okay. So don't feel avamana. Yeah, Konchada. Okay. Stay with the course and keep looking at it. Keep looking at it. Don't jump to conclusions. Stay with the topic. Focus. That is what a scientist does. You don't, for an incomplete experiment, you don't start writing conclusions. You have to complete the experiment. After you complete the experiment, write down the observations. Once you write down the observations, then you go into Smruti, Pratyaksha, Maitihyam, Anumana. and then you get a total knowledge of the subject. So that is what I was answering to Hitesh's question. Yes, everything is consciousness, but then you have to use 4 methods to describe it. Smriti, Pratyaksha, Maitihyam, Anumana. With using all that, you have to say, how is everything pure consciousness? Then you are grounded in it. Otherwise, you become a religious person. That means you blindly believe in something, that your God is only the God and the rest of them are all not, and fight with each other. That is because you don't have complete knowledge of your God. If you have complete knowledge of your God using all the methods, Smriti, Pratyaksha, Maitikyam, Anumana. That is, and then in Anumana is Upamana. Okay? So Anumana, under Anumana, the under each of these things, right? Like memory. Memory means memory, Smriti, memory. Memory means reference. Memory means something that is already observed. Like that, under Smriti, there are subtopics. Under Aitihyam, epidemiology, there are subtopics, like statistics being one of them. See, now you are all turning into scientific thinking. Don't believe blindly anything. Veda does not want you to believe anything blindly. Vedas completely are experiential, scientific hymns and principles. There is no blind methodology in the Vedas. Please remember this. So if any one of you say that Veda mantras are blind beliefs, throw them into Bay of Bengal and not them come back again. Literally, I'm telling you, because they are ignorant people or don't pay attention to them. All the other religious texts, they might have denigrated themselves into blind beliefs. Like Quran is completely blind belief. Bible is blind belief. But our Vedas are not blind beliefs. They are experimental. All these rishis are great scientists. They did not say anything blindly. That's why they said, to understand this Surya Mandalam completely, you need Smriti, Pratyaksha, Maitihyam, Anumanam. So under Anumanam is Upamanam. Upamanam. Upamanam means that which comes close, not complete. You understand? Upa means close. Mana means that which is closely related. So this example they are giving of the Nadi is closely related to time. How it is closely related to time, they will describe. Because it is closely related, it doesn't mean Nadi has become time. Okay. See how scientific it is. When you say, for example, you are giving it only as a method to understand. Don't get carried away that this is the truth. That is what they're saying. Okay, so then there is no possibility, what is the question, of time travel based on today's class, river flow and time. What is that? What not rivers to eliminate? Bhasmasura. What is the question, Sridhar?
So the question is, I mean, in scientifically, they are like looking into going back in time, right? So there is no going back in time.
Yeah.
Okay. It's not possible.
No, this is a very important topic related to time. Time has 2 components to it. Modern science says time is linear. It is like an arrow. Therefore, in modern science, these numbers are linear in nature. You understand? They are linear in nature. 22, 23, 24, 25, it is linear. And 2020 will never come back, right? Because it's past. So from that point of view, linear time never comes back, isn't it? But then Vedic time is very incredible. What they're talking about is, yes, the river flows and the river flows and reaches the ocean and merges into the ocean. Is the water coming back? Well, some people are doing like this. Some people are doing like this. Which one is correct? I don't know. Maybe, maybe not.
Yes,
Maybe, maybe
Yes.
not. Does it come back or not?
Yes.
Yes, come back.
So therefore, Vedic time is cyclical. It is a cycle. Therefore, it repeats every 60 years. Incredible. Now, if you just ask the question now, what is time? The question. Homework. Each of you can figure out now what is time. And many people in this class will say, sorry, sir, I don't have time.
Anna, just
One
time
nimisha,
short.
one nimisha. Let's finish one question. So this relative time is linear. Relative time is linear. Now, what is time? Now I'm calling, when I say relative time, that means there are other times, no? Huh? If I say relative time is linear, then what other times are there? There are only 3 times that time manifests. One is personal time, relative time, and absolute time. For this, you have to understand what is time to begin with. If I say relative time, then what is time? What is time? What is time is the essence of incredible experimentation by greatest of scientists. Now, let me just see. I had the same question. And what does, okay, we have same question, don't type. We have varying number of days for months from 28 to 31. Is that related to time? Now, this is now, answer is yes, answer is no. What is this 28 days, 31 days, 30 days? Huh? How did they come into existence? For this, you need to study the revolution of the earth. How is time defined basically in our lives? Time is
Moment of
defined.
thought.
No,
Moment
no, that is all. You give an answer that is
Yes,
not understood by anybody. 1 second, Sairam. 1 second. Sairam. Oh, Majjula, I never call her answer. Just I thought he was answering my question. He was answering somebody else's question. Okay. So okay. So I know Sunday morning a lot of commitments are there, so don't want to take all of your time. So time, how it became 28 days, 38 days. Do the whatever you ask Google Mata, she will answer you all those questions. I don't need to spend some time because there are solar time and lunar time, and to adjust the solar and lunar aspects of it, time adjustments happen. So that's how the leap year, the calendar, leap year, and the February 28 days, some months 31 days, all of those came into existence. All of that is bloody artificially created, including the stupid thing called daylight savings. I don't want to save any of the day because all the day is doomed under current saga. I don't want to spend more time, thinking about all the nonsense going on around. So daylight savings itself is stupidity, So all of these things that we created, 28 days, 31 days, and then the leap year, this year, that year, is to calibrate to the stupidity of the human mind. Nothing more than that. How? Time. Okay, so those questions are answered. Yes. What is okay? We have okay. That is the last question. What Shakti? What are you asking?
No, the sequentiality of time itself is a myth, isn't it? It's memory which comes in and creates that sequentiality, right?
Are you making a statement or are you talking?
No, I'm clarifying something of my understanding. The
okay. So
myth
let's pause here. Time. What is time? This is the most fundamental question. And this time for us manifests in 3 ways. Time for you as an individual, time that is relative with respect to each other, and time that is beyond these two. Those are the three components of time. What we are most bound by is fundamentally time as it relates to what is time fundamentally. Time is fundamentally an observed change. An observed change. That is what time is. An observed change. If you just focus on those words, time is an observed change. So how did this international system, what we call SI system, define time? Using these things called atomic clocks. You understand? Now this is why I say 30. This is why I say these topics are. You should not just leave something as a belief and leave it aside. Then you become a blind religious nut. So what do I mean by that? International system of units defines a second. A second is the fundamental unit of time in internationally. That's the fundamental time, right? Seconds, minutes, hours, days, weeks, months, year. That is international system of units of defining time. So what is the basic fundamental second is defined as, for those of you who will turn into PhDs, permanently head damaged, the physical time of a second is defined, are measured as electronic transition frequency of a cesium-133 atom. And that electronic transition frequency of a cesium atom is 9,192,631,770th part of a cesium atom's ground state hyper fine transition frequency. If you studied science, you would have remembered that. Now, PhD, all of you are permanently head damaged. That is how atomic clocks were created. Using cesium atom as the, why did they use a cesium atom? Cesium atom was used because cesium atom's electronic frequencies are very stable, reliable, reproducible, and precise. Cesium atom 133 is a very precise, and its atomic transition, electronic transition frequencies are so incredibly fine-tuned. That is what scientists have used to define a second. Okay, now you will have an exam after the Aruna Prashna every class, and I will put a quiz now. Each of you can take quizzes now. Once we get into the topic, that's why you should join the classroom. Then you will be fully benefited by it. And you will take this as homework, and you will start to understand why am I getting into this. So that has evolved. Now, what happened later? Scientists have observed that time is not the same for each and everyone, right? That's the Einstein's theory of relativity. So Einstein was the first one to discover that time is not the same. Time is defined by various other factors, and I won't get into all of this stuff. Now, the entire concept of time after Einstein is based on how Einstein has defined time as loss of entropy of a light particle when it travels from point A to point B in space. Then he brought in space with respect to time. And now then he brought in a light particle, which is called photon. What is a light particle? Photon is a fundamental unit of a light ray. And a change in the energy pattern of a light particle in time is what he defined as time. Now you see how time is related to smrtang kala visheshanam, tasyaf paka visheshena, smrtang kala visheshanam. Now, beautiful, no? How the Aruna Prashna is saying, because of specific changes in these light rays or light particles, time is created. So what Einstein has described as relative time was already defined in Aruna Prashna, saying that Smrutang tasyaf suryo marichim adatte sarvasmad bhuvanadadhi tasyaf pakavisheshena smrutang kala visheshanam. Remember that specific changes in time occur because of the specific changes in the sun rays. 100% no contradiction by Einstein. 100% no contradiction. Completely synergistic. So now, what is astonishing to me is, while describing all this relative phenomenon, now there is even more evolution in scientists' theory. Of modern scientists have even further refined what time is, right? So in describing this time and the theory of relativity, now quantum physicists have even come to the next level. So now you see there is a particle, the mass of the particle, its presence in time, its presence in space, and its a travel velocity, and how that velocity is influenced by its mass, and the mass being influenced by space being related to gravity. Now the single photon particle, now it's time, space, gravity, all these things coming together to define what time is. Now, once you understood this, now that is how the scientists, the rishis, will now give a lot more clarity about that. What is, but as I said, in study of this Aruna Prashna, why I called this cosmology and beyond. The mantra is saying that relative time exists because of specific changes in the rays of the sun. And the mantra does not stop there. It describes this as a circular time, how that cycle comes into existence, and how direct evidence and experience, direct evidence, inference, and epidemiology are involved in understanding this time. Stay tuned. We will be right back next week. Sai Ram. Any other questions? Is that the summary of the time? Conchada, what is time?
Time is that big number that you mentioned, like the billions and all those things.
No. I'm asking you, what is what is the mantra saying?
Smrutam kala visheshanam. Tadaiva prabhavat kachit.
No. That's tasyaf paka visheshena.
Tasya paka visheshena. Akshayat sandati.
No. Ekkado తీసుకెళ్ళి ఎక్కడో ముడి పెడుతున్నావు. No, you have to go in.
Tasya paka visheshena.
Suryo marichimadatte. That is how you sarvasmad bhuvanadati. Tasyaf paka visheshena smrutang kala visheshena. Those are the 4 lines you have to remember what the rishi is saying. The Nadi example is a metaphor. It's a metaphor to describe that. What is saying? Suryo marichim adatte. Sarvasmat bhuvanadadhi. This Surya, the sun, is above and beyond, first and foremost. You have to remember that. Above and beyond is very obvious. Direct evidence. Surya is above and beyond. The universe is a direct evidence, isn't it? It's direct evidence. You are experiencing it. Nothing, there is no secret about that. Sun is above and beyond. So this sun who is above and beyond is holding the whole universe with his rays. Marichim adatte. And he is holding this entire universe by his rays. And because of the specific changes in those rays, remember that time has come into existence. Wow. Powerful. Yes, I don't know about you all. I am totally like, it's totally zapped by this. Even for me as a scientist, this is very intriguing. Forget about spirit, religious aspect of it. Oh, if you look at the sun and do this chant Arunam, that too on his Ratha Saptami, you will be elevated soul. All of that is, forget about that. Intellectually, this is absolutely above and beyond comprehension. How that is, and then how they describe it, and then the example of the Nadi is just a metaphor. Okay, Jai Sairam. Now let's.
So Anna, so he himself is timeless and changeless, right?
Who is he? Me?
Who is the sun? I mean, I'm taking it as a metaphor for consciousness.
We'll get into that. They'll describe that also in the mantras. But answer is yes. If you are sun, do you have time?
I mean, as an object, I don't know.
No, forget about object, subject, all of. Don't mix philosophy unnecessarily with direct experience. If you are the sun yourself, are you affected by the clouds?
No.
Okay. If you are the sun yourself, do you have time? Does time apply to sun?
No.
Thank you. How is time coming into existence for all of us? How is 24 hours defined?
Through the rays. Through the rays.
No, again, you're mixing up. The 24-hour time is defined by revolution of Earth on its own axis.
Okay, so he himself is.
So how is time coming into existence for people on Earth?
By its own.
Because of the revolution of the Earth.
Yes.
24 hours. How does that time apply if you are in Mars? How does that time apply if you are beyond gravity? Now, that is how you come into now how much this thing called time has taken over the entire humanity without even fundamentally grounding ourselves on what is time, how am I affected by it, what does that mean. So if you apply the spiritual, now shifting to philosophy or shifting to spirituality, if body is your earth, if body is the earth, for a person who is completely body conscious, they are bound by time. The one who is no body has no time, has all the time or no time, or they are timeless. Timelessness comes when you are above and beyond body consciousness. And therefore, these incredible souls, the rishis, etc., they lived for thousands of years and they continue to live because they're not subject to body consciousness or mind consciousness or mind awareness or body awareness. They're not bound by it. They're not attached to that. Therefore, from an absolute point of view, they're timeless. They're timeless. It doesn't mean they don't have time. They are timeless. The sun is not subjected to the revolution of the earth or whatever. The sun is shining. It doesn't matter earth rotates or not. How does he care? That time is applied to us. So now this is now deeper. When you go deeper, contemplate on that, then you will understand how powerful this whole thing is. Okay, Jai Sairam. Okay, any other question? Sleep well, rest of the week. Don't lose your mind over this. I won't ask you what is the cesium 133 atom electronic transition frequency and what is a second and all of that's all information. From I, you have to go to T. From information to transformation. That's called IT. Instead of subjecting ourselves to IT, from I to T is IT. Not tea like drinking tea. From I, from information to transformation. Otherwise, we will call everything as T only. Divinity, purity, clarity, humanity. How many T's are there? So many T's. And there is also the most useless one called committee. Committee. There is always a committee. They're all coming for a tea. That's what Swami said. They're not interested in doing any work. There is a committee for something, service committee. And there is a committee for Veda. There is a committee. This is nonsense. Don't go to committees. Do Swami's work without any coming for teas. Just do Swami's work and be in Swami's consciousness. Om Swastif Prajabhyah Paripalayantam Nyayena Margena Mahim Mahishah Go Brahmanebhyah Shubhamastu Nityam समस्तलोकाः सुखिनो भवन्तु समस्तलोकाः सुखिनो भवन्तु समस्तलोकाः सुखिनो भवन्तु ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः जय बोलो भगवान श्री सत्य साई बाबा जी की